The grand arrival. The bridge of the Dominion warship Eternal Conqueror hummed with anticipation as Commander Zarthok stood before the massive viewport, his crimson scales gleaming under the ship's dim lighting. Behind him, 200 vessels of the Krell Dominion fleet hung in perfect formation, their weapon systems charged and ready. This was conquest number 347, and Zarthok had the process down to a science. Earth floated below them, a blue and green marble spinning peacefully in the void. The planet's inhabitants had no idea what was about to hit them. Zarthok's twin tails swished with satisfaction as he surveyed his fleet. His species had conquered half the known galaxy using the same tried and tested method. Arrive with overwhelming force, broadcast a message of inevitable doom, and watch as the primitives below surrendered within hours. First Officer Crixell approached, her silver armor clanking softly. The translation matrices had been calibrated to the dominant Earth languages, and their intimidation protocols were ready for deployment. Everything was proceeding according to standard procedure. Zarthok activated the communication array with a tap of his clawed hand. It was time to introduce these humans to their new reality. The broadcast went out on every frequency, hijacking every communication device on the planet below. Zarthok's holographic image appeared in the sky above major cities, his form magnified to terrifying proportions. His voice boomed across the planet, enhanced by the ship's audio amplifiers to inspire maximum dread. He delivered the standard speech, the one that had worked on 346 worlds before this one. People of Earth, your world has been selected for integration into the Krell Dominion. Resistance is futile. Your weapons are primitive. Your defenses are meaningless. You have 24 hours to surrender unconditionally, or your cities will burn and your civilization will be reduced to ash. Choose wisely. Choose survival. The transmission ended and Zarthok allowed himself a small smile. By this time tomorrow, Earth's leaders would be begging for mercy. They always did. 6 hours later, instead of panicked transmissions and offers of surrender, Zarthok received something completely unexpected: an email. His communication officer stared at the screen in confusion before routing it to the main display. The message read, "Dear Commander Zarthok, thank you for your message regarding planetary integration. We would like to schedule a meeting to discuss your proposal. Would Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time work for your schedule? Please let us know if you have any dietary restrictions. Best regards, Director Maria Santos, United Nations Office of Extraterrestrial Affairs." Zarthok read the message 3 times, his brain struggling to process what he was seeing. Dietary restrictions? Tuesday at 2? This was not how conquered species were supposed to respond. There was no mention of surrender, no begging for mercy, no offers of tribute. They wanted to schedule a meeting like he was some kind of business associate. Crixell leaned over his shoulder, equally confused. "Perhaps it is a translation error, sir. Should we send another intimidation broadcast?" Zarthok's tail twitched with uncertainty. "No," he said slowly. "We will attend this meeting. I want to see what game these humans are playing." When Tuesday arrived, Zarthok took a shuttle down to the coordinates provided, accompanied by 6 of his most intimidating warriors. They landed outside a gleaming building in a city called New York, where thousands of humans had gathered to watch. Instead of screaming and fleeing in terror, they were taking pictures with their communication devices and waving. A security team escorted them inside, through metal detectors that beeped apologetically at their weapons, and into a conference room. The room was painfully ordinary: a long table, comfortable chairs, and a beverage station in the corner. Director Maria Santos stood waiting, a small human woman in a blue business suit. She smiled warmly and extended her hand in the human greeting gesture. "Commander Zarthok, welcome to Earth. I am Director Santos. We have been expecting contact with extraterrestrial intelligence for quite some time. This is very exciting for us." Zarthok stared at her outstretched hand, unsure what to do with it. One of his warriors whispered that it was a non-threatening greeting ritual. He awkwardly grasped her hand, surprised by how small and fragile it felt. This tiny creature should be terrified. Why was she smiling? "Please sit down." Santos gestured to the chairs. "Can I offer you anything? We have coffee, tea, water, and some snacks. We were not sure what your species consumes, so we tried to provide variety." Zarthok sat, his massive frame making the human furniture creak ominously. His warriors remained standing, hands on their weapons. He decided to reassert control of the situation. You seem to misunderstand the nature of this meeting, Director Santos. This is not a negotiation. I am here to accept your planet's surrender. Santos nodded pleasantly as she poured herself coffee. Yes, I saw your broadcast. Very impressive visuals. Our special effects teams were quite envious of the production quality. Now regarding the surrender demand, we have prepared a counter-proposal. She slid a thick document across the table. Zarthok stared at it like it might explode. The cover read, Earth-Krell Dominion Mutual Cooperation Framework Initial Proposal. Counter-proposal? Zarthok's voice rose. There are no counter-proposals. You surrender or you are destroyed. Those are your only options. Santos took a sip of her coffee. Commander, I appreciate that this is how you have operated in the past, but Earth operates differently. We have prepared a comprehensive analysis of the potential benefits of cooperation versus conquest. You will find it in Section 3, Subsection B. There are also some concerns about the environmental impact of orbital bombardment that we would like to discuss. One of Zarthok's warriors leaned down and whispered urgently, Sir, scans show this building is surrounded by their military forces, but they are not in attack positions. They appear to be providing security for this meeting. Zarthok felt the situation slipping further from his control with each passing moment. He stood abruptly, his height forcing Santos to look up at him. His warriors raised their weapons slightly and human security personnel tensed but did not draw their own arms. You test my patience, human. Perhaps you need a demonstration of what happens to worlds that defy the Dominion. Santos remained seated, completely calm. Commander, before you make any demonstrations, I should mention that we have been monitoring your fleet's energy signatures. We have some questions about your power systems. Also, we noticed your ships have been in orbit for 6 hours without orbital correction burns. Are you using some kind of gravitational anchor technology? Because our physicists would love to understand how that works. Zarthok stared at her. In his 347 conquests, spanning 200 years of service, no one had ever asked him about gravitational anchor technology during a surrender negotiation. What kind of species was this? What kind of world asked technical questions while staring down the barrel of planetary annihilation? He looked at Crixel, who seemed equally baffled. For the first time in his long career, Commander Zarthok had absolutely no idea what to do next.